In this video, we're going to take a look at a black ink by Montblanc Ultra Black. As always, there's timestamps down below in the description so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out the entire video. Also, down in the description is a link to a black ink playlist, so if you want to look at other black inks, that's where you'll find it. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. Let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, and 6 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, and 9 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show no color variation because there's none. And the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with a Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then a Pilot E95S with a medium nib was inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. Let's take a look at the second writing sample done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, and 11 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, and 19 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. In a smear test, you couldn't recover it if you smeared while you were writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down and then it's put in the water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see why this is such a deep, dark black. We see a light blue at the bottom, and as it moves up, we see a very dark purple and the black. The one on the right is let dry for 10 minutes. And this is where some of the inks become a little more evident. You see that blue across the bottom. You see that darkish purple that's kind of watered down, but you can see it as it moves up. And across the top, right across the top, you see that very dark black line. I'm hoping it comes through in the picture. But I'm not expecting any resistance from this ink. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. We have no bleeding and no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 7 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 13 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it, and the smear test you could definitely recover if you smeared while you were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. And we see that the highlighter seems to be reactivating it some. It does get a bit woolly, but all of the information is still very much there. I think you could safely use it in a note-taking situation if you needed to go back and highlight. Now, water shows just how well behaved this particular ink is because it is completely cleaning up. We're really seeing a lot of the white of the paper coming through on the top edges where it was only 30 seconds. Pen flush does everything that water does and nothing more, and the 1/3 bleach solution completely removes it. Now, it only took water to get this out of my pen. The next writing sample is done on TWSBI notebook paper. We get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 5 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, and no shade, 7 seconds to dry. Scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it, and the smear test, I do not think you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity was 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Montblanc's Ultra Black has a viscosity of 3.05, making this a pretty darn dry ink. If you're interested in how all of that viscosity stuff is done, there's a link to that video down in the description. Now let's look at the next paper, Monokaki. The only bleed spots we see are at the scrubby, which is where it's put on stupid heavy, so not such a big deal. Otherwise, we have no bleeding and no ghosting. Nice performance. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine, same tone as the stub, no feather, no spread, no halo, no sheen, no shade, 5 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, and 8 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. The smear test, I actually do think you could recover it. I'm not exactly sure how well this is coming through on camera, but I think you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time was 17 seconds, and the realm of normal was 13 to 21 seconds. Montblanc's Ultra Black has an average dry time of 11 seconds, making this a faster drying ink. The last writing sample is done on Apica CD paper. We have no bleeding and no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade, and 7 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 11 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show no color variation, and there is none. The smear test, you could probably recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Instead of finding inks that look like Montblanc's Ultra Black, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. Now that little bit of purple that we were seeing in the chromatography made me want to go with a purple ink, and I chose one from Cross, their Violet. Now if you'd prefer a different complement color, then down in the description you're going to see links to those playlists that you can choose from. What do I think of Montblanc's Ultra Black? This is a very dark black with nice solid lines. There's no shading and rarely any tone variation at all by pen. While it is nice, it is pricey. There are blacks just as nice with much lower price tags. So what nib and pen will give the best writing experience with this ink? I really don't think it matters. It always comes across as a nice solid black and very well performing. However, because it's a pricey bottle of ink, I would suggest that you go with a medium flow fine nib to go ahead and let that ink last as long as possible for the price of the bottle, as cool as the bottle may be. I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next video, we're going to take a look at Diatramentis Indian Blue Bronze, a shimmering ink.